Arsenal came second. I do apologise if you're an Arsenal fan, that may be a really hurtful way to start off the video. I did a video about a month ago titled Nobody Likes Manchester City, and the response was interesting, mainly because people were saying that they actually would like them to win the league because it means that at least Arsenal doesn't. And this came from not only Spurs fans and Chelsea fans, and really any London club obviously, but Man United fans and even Liverpool fans, strangely enough, which I kind of want to go into today's video. Why do people not want Arsenal to win the league? And why was it seen as almost a celebration to mock them so for not winning it? Now, in my own opinion, as a complete neutral, I wanted Arsenal to win the league. Not because I have some undying hatred for Man City, but because I think it's better for the league to have different winners on a regular basis, because it shows in my eyes that it is a competitive league. The gap between Arsenal and 4th place Aston Villa, that also got Champions League football, right, were 21 points. That's 7 entire wins apart. Would you say the Premier League is a competitive league? Tell me your thoughts down below. And also, what is your opinions on Arsenal? And were you one of them that wanted them to win the league or not to? With the Prem, it's almost like there's 4 or 5 mini leagues inside the Premier League. So at the bottom, there's the scum. So that's me, hi boys, with Sheffield United, Burnley, Luton. You can maybe add in Forest this campaign. And then it kind of ends there. You got Brentford and Everton, just kind of by themselves. Wolves, Fulham, Bournemouth, Brighton, Palace, West Ham in that entire mid-range, mediocre stage. United, Newcastle, Chelsea, Spurs, and Villa, all in that entire sort of European spot contenders. And then, of course, there's the rest of them, which is Liverpool, Arsenal, and City, which all ran away with it for the entire campaign. That's 5 individual leagues almost. And the difference in quality between all those levels appears to be very contrasting. But let's get into Arsenal. Comment down below your thoughts, like, subscribe. Mazzola Designs, my own design company, link down below top of the description for the best football prints to put up on your wall. And of course, there's many great Arsenal prints as well on my site, including a lovely Thierry Henry right there, which by the way is one of my favorite prints I've ever done. So link down below, go check it out. Use code Arsenal for 15% off. Man City are Premier League champions, winning 4 titles in a row, which is the most ever done consecutively in the entirety of the English top flight. And it almost felt like a foregone conclusion before a ball was even kicked. The idea of West Ham United making City drop points at the Etihad felt like an impossibility, simply because we've already been here many times before. The last hope that Arsenal had cruelly was by their fierce rivals in Spurs, that despite many calls of them throwing away the game, I think many fans, if all that are reasonable, can see that Spurs absolutely went for the game, and no calls of Spurs' character of throwing a game can be questioned. However, there was one individual moment that could be looked back on to change the title race. Similar to Emiliano Martinez with his save v Colomboigny in the World Cup final, possibly not as dramatic, but Heung-min Son racing through on goal one-on-one with Ortega with an incredible stop, who by the way is a backup goalkeeper that got subbed on in the game, making the save to really sway the title in Man City's favour. And any hope that Arsenal had was gone within 2 minutes, with Phil Foden with an unbelievable strike, making it 1-0 up in the first 2 minutes of the game. 20 minutes, it was 2-0. And despite a remarkable bicycle kick by Kudus, no one thought anything was going to happen here, as eventually Rodri, as always, came out to make it 3-1, and the title was sealed. Would Arsenal winning the Prem be a miracle? I've seen this phrase thrown around a lot, and no, Leicester City winning the Premier League was a miracle. Arsenal winning the Premier League would be an unbelievable achievement, but it won't be a miracle. And at the same time, I've seen people compare David v Goliath in terms of Arsenal and City, which I get why they would say that, because City are the almost effortless, perfect force that, when it comes down to it, always shows up when it matters. They always relentlessly win time after time. in the pressure games. However, I wouldn't compare Arsenal to David here. When Mikel Arteta first came to the club, Arsenal was still in their banter era, with many players which I'll just name off here, you would instantly recognise with that era. David Luiz, Socrates, Lacazette up top, Maitland-Niles, with a bench of Mustafi, Guendouzi and Pepe. By the way, reminder, Pepe cost Arsenal around 70 million euros, and he went through some tough times, and many fans wanting him to leave the club, with many rants online, and I can't lie, it was understandable. At one point in 2021, between October and Christmas, this was the run of games. Last 10 results, 1 win, 2 draws and 7 losses. Those losses including getting battered at home to Aston Villa, losing at home to Burnley, and also failing to beat likes of Leeds and Southampton and Everton, Wolves. It was really, really poor. And when I look at this, I still don't blame fans for questioning Arteta to leave, because that is really poor. However, they saw the bigger picture, and because of that, I do respect the club for sticking with their guns at that time period, because it would have been very easy just to cut their ties. Arteta made some big decisions. The most obvious was the treatment of Aubameyang and getting rid of what we're seen as these sort of cliques in the group which put the team apart. And this was for one key reason. Unity was the most important part of the club. Everyone being together and all going in one direction, like what every single team, any great team, should do. Unity is the cornerstone of Arsenal. That not only the first team, but also players on the bench or reserves all chips in, and everyone's in the same boat. And this leads to people knocking Arsenal in terms of what they do on social media, in terms of a lot of their social posts comes across quite dramatic and very movie-like, and some of their players they may not like as well. Declan Rice being one of them, Kai Havertz being another one of them. One weird trend in the last couple of weeks where people are really coming at and mocking Bukayo Saka, as sometimes in games for good reasons or maybe for wrong reasons he appears to be limping a lot, and this becomes a big figure of mockery in social media, which I personally don't understand, but that's a really big thing that they all seem to really come at Bukayo Saka for, which I thought had a fantastic campaign. In the end, they won pretty much all their games, other than they drew away to City and they had one slip up at home to Aston Villa, and since then they've been perfect for the entirety of 2024. Since the start of the new year in the Premier League, they've won every game but 2. They drew against City away, good result, and they lost at home to Villa. That was their only mistake. In an entire 5 months, one mistake, and it cost them. And that shows how insane it really is to win the Premier League. And then people say and mock Arsenal for saying that, oh, they bottled it. I'm sorry, but one loss in 5 months, one draw in 5 months is not bottling it. It's not bottling it. And the fact that that is claimed as bottling it shows that people just want an excuse to laugh at Arsenal. And by the way, I felt the same way about Liverpool when people saying that they bottled it too, when in reality they had a fantastic end of the campaign, last 3, 4, 5 months almost perfect, but it just isn't enough against Man City. And despite the obvious charges above their heads, which you've got to add in, you simply have to, it doesn't also put away the fact that the same players and Pep, the achievement that they've done, you got to give them credit for that, for the team and the actual culture that they built there. What happens on the pitch by the players is done by the manager and the players, and that's the way that I simply see it. So yeah, I kind of feel like the kind of mockery and laughing at Arsenal I think is unjustified. I would have liked them to win the league, and I have no doubt that Arteta for next season will come back and go at it all over again, because in the end they came very close. 89 points is a very respectable tally. However, due to how perfect the top 2 are, it's not enough sometimes, and Liverpool fans can absolutely vouch for that as well. They didn't win a league while getting 97 points. Now that seems ridiculous. So here's my 3 questions to you. Did you want Arsenal to win the Premier League? If not, what was your reasons why? Was it due to your lack of care for Man City, as what some may say, or your thoughts on Arsenal as a club or as a fan base? And most importantly, do you think City winning 4 in a row is damning for the Premier League? Tell me your comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.